it's do or die for us anyways. So you just leave it all out there. We talk about sacrificing. We talk about doing the right things out there. I mean, it's tough. Your body is going through a lot, especially in an elimination game where our backs are against the wall. Guys are trying to leave it all on the ice. So I thought we did that, and it wasn't pretty, but it was a win. It was what we needed to do coming into today, and we were confident with our group. Another fantastic start to the game. We just got to fix those lulls when we're up. So we'll address those, but obviously a big bounce back.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. Victory Friday. 13th too. Did you guys realize that? I didn't know that until I was looking at the date and I was typing the non-existent notes. I was like,
I realized it a couple days ago. I'm like, oh, it's Friday the 13th coming up. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm glad the Lightning are not playing today. I'm glad they played last night. It's a much better day talking to you today, Danny, than last time I saw you.
Right? Yeah.
You were smiling.
Time. Yes. Yeah. Last time it was somber. Like there was like we received heavy news right before we went on.
Tabs playing in the background.
I didn't like that press conference he just did. I don't like it. Fix the lulls that we have, the couple of lulls. There's a lot of lulls in that, whatever he's talking about, man.
Yeah, it wasn't a pretty game. They won, but not pretty by any means.
I mean, a W is a W, but like to have them score 2 goals back to back within 10 minutes of each other?
Yeah, that's the second time in 2 games too. They get a 2-goal lead. 26 seconds between the goals, and you're like, guys, like you can't do this. You squander a 2-goal lead. I think correct. I could be wrong, and I don't know. Feel free to correct me if I am wrong, but I think it was Pat Donovan that was like, honestly, like I'm okay if the Lightning lose Game 6.
It sounds like
Yeah,
and I was like, I get it to an extent. I understand what you're saying because, when you're not playing well and you're up 2-0 and then you're down 3-2, you're like, all right.
That's the second time in almost 2 games where they've had a multi-goal lead and then they squandered a lead like that. I mean, listen, let's look at the positives. They won Game 6. I mean, they came back. They scored in the third period, and I think Hagel got his redemption for not missing that shot, and then they win an OT. So the positives, we're forcing a Game 7. That's the huge big thing right there. But now, Danny, we're going back to an odd number game, and it's Game 7. A winner take all. So how do you feel about going into an odd number game, which is now Game 7?
Well, I feel good about it.
Please take it away, Chris.
Yeah, I feel good about it since Toronto are 0-8 since 2018 in series deciding games, and they haven't made the out of round 1 since 2004. So I feel good about it on those stats. We were lucky because there was some officiating that people are saying. I got a quote from our favorite Toronto fan this morning. Would you like to hear his?
Oh, our favorite Canadian.
Our favorite Canadian said the Lightning flopping and diving and flailing all over the place. Only reason they won last night. The Lightning are if LeBron and Harden had a flopping, whining baby.
You know what? They won. So, it's game over. Sorry,
they capitalized on that. All the series, they haven't capitalized when they had that. And then the 5-on-3 happens and they do capitalize. I think that game was very evenly matched. I think they both didn't play well, sloppy on both sides, but the Lightning had more heart and wanted it more.
It definitely showed in OT. I mean, obviously, Toronto really looked – they were more hungry in OT than the Lightning were. You can definitely see it in OT. That's what – I was watching the full game, and then when they got into OT, I'm like, man, I better drink a lot if this doesn't happen. And I was a little nervous in OT because just Toronto was faster. They just looked more hungry, and then Tampa kind of got that lucky little break with Brayden Point and won the game. But going back to Toronto, it's now Game 7. This is it, boys. Like you gotta put up or shut up. You can't be squandering these multi goal leads. Headed into the third period, you can't do that. Especially with the Game 7 coming up. There's no way you can do that.
Well, and Vasilevski, for what we said about him during the series, he was outstanding in overtime there. And now his stats in the last 3 postseasons, he was 17-0. He's just super impressive in these deciding games. So that's good. Coming off a loss in this postseason, he's played great. So he's got a .942 save percentage and 5 shutouts coming after these.
And that's how you win championships, is having big cat like that. I mean, he really showed out in the third period too when he had those, I think, three blocks in a row. I was like, oh, dude, this is we're gonna win this game. But
that was the turning point, really.
Yeah, that was the momentum shifter right there. When he had 3 blocks in a row, I was like, oh, okay, big cat's here to save the day for this game. Danny, give me your thoughts on the whole game as a whole for the Lightning, and then just kind of give me your thoughts about OT and a lot. I mean, we won, but obviously there's a lot of areas of improvement going into Game 7.
Oh, there definitely is. I think that if you're looking at the game from the whole perspective, again, just like Game 6, the Bolts dominated the stat sheet. Had more hits. They did not have more faceoff wins. Austin Matthews was just absolutely obliterating them every time he steps into the circle. But Vazzy finally stepped it up. We talked about this earlier. The defense this series has not been the greatest.
Right.
And as a result, Big Cat's save percentage is not as good. It's a .885 right now. Last season was a .937. The year before was a .927. Okay, so it's down tremendously right now, and he's not getting any help. I think what I really, really noticed the most is the Lightning are just slow. They really they really are. And I'm not saying it's a lack of hustle. I'm just saying they need some speedsters. Whether they win Game 7 or not, they need some speed, Evan.
I definitely agree with you upon that. I mean, they definitely look sluggish. They look tired.
Especially in overtime. Exactly.
They are very outmatched, I think, and they just looked exhausted going into the third, even overtime. I mean, it shows. So I don't know what they need to do. Maybe get some go-go juice before Game 7, but I'm nervous about this Game 7. Kristen, are you nervous about Game 7 at all?
Of course. I mean, how can you not be nervous about a Game 7? But that first goal, oh my God, I texted you, Danny, after it. That spin move, I mean, that was beautiful. I'm in the bar across the street. We're just getting a drink, watching the first period, and it was just amazing. Everyone's cheering. It was so cool, to see that. But I do agree they're a little bit slow. But hats off to Brayden Point. He's basically been the best player of the series. He's the one guy who's out there with speed, so he gets that game-winning goal. And I think that, is a momentum changer there. But we said it last time we talked, Danny. They played more games than anybody has played over the last few seasons. I mean, they've made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. So we talk about Super Bowl hangover. Is there such thing as a Stanley Cup hangover?
It's possible.
Yeah, I think it's possible on that. But I would say if they don't make it past the first round, then you can say there's got to be a hangover, because if they make it past, if they win Game 7, then you can kind of say there may not be a hangover, because I think a lot of teams that have that hangover to them, they don't get past the first round. Like if they get knocked out in the second or third, okay, maybe not so much, but it's definitely that if you don't get past the first round, there's definitely a hangover on that.
Well, let's say they win Game 7, they get past the first round. We're already talking about them being sluggish and slow and tired. Now they're going into a second round against a better team here. Yep. I would be very worried about round 2 now.
I'll tell you this. This is my opinion about the whole thing. I want them just to get past Toronto.
Yes.
Just to get past Toronto, because of people. It's mostly because, Kristen, of people we know that are Toronto fans, that anytime a Toronto team loses, it just brings a sparkle to my day. So that's fine with me. Just get past the first round of Toronto, and then just if you lose in the second round, it is what it is. But just get past Toronto. That's all I ask for. That's it.
Yeah, that was exciting though. I couldn't sit down in that overtime. I'm pacing, watching the TV, and poor Mo, my boyfriend, sleeping on the couch. I'm screaming, "Go!" running around the house, scaring the crap out of him. He comes off the couch like, "What's happening?" But
I want to show you guys a photo from last night after the Lightning did end up winning last night. Give me 1 second, I'll pull it up. This was outside of Toronto's stadium last night. a sea of blank stares.
The kid with his mouth open, and then the guy with the wide eyes right behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness!
There was a video of a Tampa Bay Lightning fan that was in Toronto that after the game was over, he took off his jersey and snuck out of the crowd because he was pretty much the only Bolts fan there. It was hilarious, man. You could see him. They singled him out on the broadcast too. They were like, "Oh, there's a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. Oh, looks like he's taking off his jersey." The kid walks, turns around, and just kind of does this whole, "Hey, I'm a secret agent. I'm going to get the hell out of here." kind of move.
I mean, that's not a bad move.
No, not a bad move either.
But you know what? Canadians they're not trying to fight. Canadians are nice. They really are. Like,
yeah, but I heard Maple Leafs fans are kind of a-holes.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you could be an a-hole, but they're not trying to physically assault you. Like,
true.
So at the Game 5 watch party, after Toronto won that game, there was a group of Toronto Maple Leafs fans standing in front of me that were cheering. They're minding their own business. They were cheering. And, of course, you know, there's alcohol at Armature Works, and there's all this stuff going on. And all these Bolts fans are walking by them, like middle fingers in their face. Go back to your country, blah, blah, blah. And this short little guy, I swear to you, he's like all of 5'2", steps up to this Canadian dude who's like 6'1", right? And I can't exactly see what he's saying, but he's like getting all heated. And the Canadian guy hugs him. And he goes, I live in Tampa, man. I love Tampa. But I'm from Canada, and that's my team. It's a sport. Calm your tits.
That's so sweet. Aww.
But I'm like, that's the Canadians that I know. You know, like I grew up a lot. I spent a lot of time in Canada growing up in Detroit.
I think Kirsten and I we both have bad taste in our mouths because
we know the one bad Canadian.
Yeah. Who roots for like the Dallas Cowboys too? It makes no sense.
I know there's so much Taylor talk today. We got the Rays playing the Blue Jays coming up. We got the Cowboys, Bucks. So much Taylor.
I know it's disgusting.
Sorry, guys.
Friday 13th is totally appropriate.
So Brayden Point now has 38 playoff goals since the 2016-2017 season when he first took the ice in the NHL. That's the most in that time period, with Brad Marchand being right behind him with 32. That's pretty damn impressive. That they call him Mr. Clutch for a reason, right? That would be it.
Blackjack Brayden Point, man.
Oh, somebody get him some new Crocs. And then Nikita Kucherov.
Kuch coming in clutch with that goal, man.
He is. And he's leading the team with 8 points, but he's also leading the team with a -5. And it's hard. And, you know, I specifically wanted to say this because you and I said this yesterday. Or, I'm sorry, the day before. It's the Trayvon Diggs effect. Right? Like, he's going to give you all of these great things, but then when you look at it, you're like, they kind of cancel each other out. You know what I mean? And it really sucks because it's Cooch. He's our 1B behind Stamkos.
Well, yeah, you know, your biggest stars, when your biggest stars have minus ratings, it's weird to see. You know, if you look at the stats sheet, you would never think they were winning these games and stuff. And but you have other guys that are stepping up in the clutch time when it counts, and so that's what makes this team, you know, a team. You know, these guys have been there before, and hopefully Brayden Point can add to that record tomorrow night, you know, and at maybe 33, 34 goals in the postseason. And the penalties, I mean, it's just been crazy. They've been called for so many, 41 on the Leafs and 36 for the Lightning this series. It's just been, and yesterday.
But the referees are so slanted towards the Lightning.
Allegedly.
Right?
Allegedly.
Well, I was reading the ESPN article about it this morning about the Maple Leafs players having no comment on it, and then they had Cooper's comments saying, you know, they capitalized and took advantage, and they had his comments in quotes like they knew it was BS calls. And
you know what I say to that? Quit crying, man. Play a better game. Quit crying.
It's ESPN, of course they're gonna.
Well,
it's always the bias, but
okay. Did you watch the TBS broadcast or the Bally Sports broadcast?
I watched the TBS broadcast. Did I listen to the TBS broadcast? No, because I like to turn down the volume because I don't want to hear the commentators because they're terrible.
So last night was the first game that I actually stayed home. I didn't actually go out to watch party or the game itself. What is up with Biz on the intermissions completely fanboying for the Toronto Maple Leafs every single time?
I don't know, man.
Like,
That's
oh
why
my
when
God.
they go to intermission, I go to another channel. I hate listening to those guys. That's why I just don't turn. I turn it to another channel. I don't listen to them.
Like, is that what the Spit and Chicklets podcast is like? Because I've listened to it a couple of times, but I'm like, holy shit! Like, if that's what this is, like, I don't
but
want to hear
Danny,
you pander.
you gotta look at it this way though. This is the Lightning are the champs, back to back champs. They have to be more biased towards like the teams that want to knock them out than they are to the champs. That's how it is with commentators. They don't want to give any, especially Tampa teams. They don't want to give love to Tampa teams, especially back to back champs. Hell no.
Yeah, they already want to hate the Tampa teams anyway.
Yeah. So why talk good about the Tampa Bay Lightning when they're back to back champs? You gotta talk about Toronto, America's hat. You gotta talk about them.
I just thought it was nuts, just like hearing that, going, "Oh, I hope they win. I hope they win. I hope it's this guy." And he's like, "Yeah, go Maple Leafs." And
because they want to knock that. They don't want to see the Tampa Bay Lightning go back to back to back. That's everybody. That's ESPN. That's everybody, man.
You got to no one's rooting for the 1 seed. Everyone's rooting for the 16.
Exactly.
Right. Of course. So Game 7 obviously is tomorrow. How loud do you think that crowd is going to be? I think it's going to be the loudest that they've had there in a very, very, very long time.
It'll be deafening in there. Puck drops at what, 7:00 on Saturday? Are you going to a watch party?
I am.
Nice.
I'm not sure where it's at, but I'm going to go.
They're saying right now it's probably going to be Armature Works again.
This is cool. They had really good food.
So
shout out to them.
Which to me, I think they should rather have it at Amalie instead of at Armature Works.
Yeah, I was they don't have it at Amalie, especially for a Game 7.
Yeah, especially for a Game 7. Have it on the Jumbotron and shit. Maybe let people inside at Amalie. I mean, why not?
That's what I thought. Let people inside.
Yeah,
make it a party.
I think when they get to the Stanley Cup final, then they'll do that.
That's true.
That's only the first.
Keep opening the stadium for round 1,
Right?
Hey, why not? Just open it every single day. Just have everybody file in. It's fine.
They were loud last game in Toronto, and then Stamkos comes out and scores that goal right away and quiets them. So I'm kind of hoping it's something like that where we can just take the air out of the stadium right away.
I think that's the main thing with them is when going into the Game 7, you got to start off strong, which they have. They've started off strong, but they've squandered the leads that they have. So if you're going to be doing this again, the same game plan where you're going to come out strong and fast and score early, then you got to defend it, man. You can't be letting them come back with 2-3 goals and then take the lead because especially in Game 7 and you're in their house, that's going to be way more tough than to, do it at your home stadium. It's just, there's no way. So you have to go into the mindset. Coop's got to be like, look, our game plan needs just to maybe be the same, but different. We have to come out strong like we have been, score early, score a lot, and then defend. We just can't squander these leads like that. Because if they get past this first round, you can't do that going against the better teams that are in the playoffs right now that are moving forward. You can't do that because there's no way. There's no way you will survive after round 1 if you keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, the one thing I feel confident about going into this game is that I've seen improvement every game in this series. They clean up the mistakes, the penalties before, then they start capitalizing, on the power play. Vasilevski was great in that overtime there. So if they keep improving and building these steps along, I do feel confident going into that game where the game plan, they just can't give up those goals. They can't give up the lead. If they get the lead, you got to hold on to it, hoping they don't play from behind. But they just got to clean up their act a little bit, and I hope it doesn't come down to officiating because I'm so sick of hearing that.
Right? Oh God, and we're going to hear about it. You're going to hear about off season.
You're going to hear about it no matter what, either way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, but I think they have to come out quick, as you both said. You got to take the crowd out. That's key. You have to take that crowd out because it's going to be absolutely deafening in there. It's going to be a hostile territory, as Pete Traeger says all the time. And then they have to control the puck better. They have to make better passes. A lot of that third period from last night's game, they spent on defense. They spent it in their own zone.
Yeah.
Like you've got to, even if you're going to take an icing, clear the puck because those are recipes for disaster if you can't get the puck out of your own zone. That's just not a good look.
The Maple Leafs did have plenty of chances late in the third period, and I was like, man, this is. I'm so scared right now.
Yeah, I was FaceTiming with my wife And she's like, I answer it when she calls me, and she goes, "No, I don't want to see you. Flip the game." So I'm holding the phone up like this, at the TV so she could see. And I was like, yeah, I mean, she's learning hockey, and when she's like, man, they look so slow. Like the Maple Leafs look like they want it more. And I was like, yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying, man. They need the go-go juice.
That's what I felt that whole game. I was like, this is just it's a game of who wants it more. And in the end, we got they got it in overtime. But I was trying to tweet something then. It was just so indescribable. It was just I just got to go to bed.
Oh man! All right, so Game 7, no scores. Are we all?
I'm not doing predictions. I'm not doing it.
Throw it out there.
No, I'm not doing it. I won't.
I'm doing it.
I'm not doing it. You guys can do it all. You guys can do it all you want. I'm not doing it.
I predict it'll be an exciting game.
That's a good prediction I can stand behind.
Kristen will be running for political office with that comment.
Unbiased.
Right? Maybe not.
I like that.
All right. Well, it'll be exciting regardless.
Right.
And I hope that it's as exciting as the last game was. Because obviously you don't enjoy giving up a 2-goal lead, right? But it was still good hockey overall. And that's all you can really ask for a Game 7. If you're gonna lose, lose in fashion.
No, we're not talking about losing here. No predictions, but we're not talking about losing.
That's fair. No bad juju going in there.
There you go.
So yesterday the NFL finally released the schedule, and we've got our Tampa Bay Buccaneers unfinished business world tour concert poster.
Danny, you were getting some flack about the graphic, man.
I like that they're all angry except the smile.
I mean, there's only so many studio photos.
Well, a couple of people were saying there's only one offensive player on there, and that's Tom Brady. You don't have Mike Evans on there or anything else. You have just Tom Brady. A couple of people were quoting about that. I was like, dude, it's just a fucking graphic, bro. Just let it be. So what? You got the main guy with Tom Brady, and you got
Tom Brady is the offense.
Yeah, you got
Tom Brady
White.
Is the unfinished business.
Yeah,
that's the guy. I mean,
it's okay. It's trolls on the internet, man. It's all right. It's a great graphic. Don't worry. Yeah, and plus, I saw this was being shared a lot. This graphic was being shared a lot. So just to let you know, it was being shared a lot by other people.
I saw 118,000 people have reached overnight.
Well, there you go.
There we go. Hats off to us.
Yes.
I feel okay about that. People cry about anything just to be heard, which is 100% correct. But, I mean, you look at the dates, right? They start at Dallas again. We thought about that. It's going to be – I hope that it's a shootout. I know Bucs fans are probably going to hate on me for saying that too. But, man, how good was that game last season when when they faced off in week 1? It was fantastic. That's what you want to see.
I don't think it's going to be that much of a shootout as it was last year. I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Do you think it's a blowout?
No, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's just going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be like it was last year at all. I think it's going to be a sloppy first game for both teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I hate about week 1. It's we're so excited for week 1. We've been waiting for this, and then a lot of times it comes out as sloppy, a lot of injuries, just the whole week 1 in general.
Should we do some analysis on the games and do some pre way too early predictions about the schedule?
Oh, of course.
I mean, I'm a little how are we going to give them? At home at least, but Packers Chiefs back to back right early in the season too.
It's funny. Jenna Lane, she came out with an article yesterday about the schedule that came out, and she goes, if all doesn't go well, the Bucs could start off 0-4 with the schedule that they have. It's one of the worst, most brutal schedules in the league right now.
They're already fourth in strength of schedule. They already have played so many hard teams, and now they put the hard ones right up front.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't call New Orleans that hard.
But Tom Brady struggles.
True.
Matchup issue.
And it's at New Orleans. I think they split the series. They always seem to split the series with them. So I'm thinking they're going to lose one of these to New Orleans.
And with Green Bay, like Aaron Rodgers doesn't have Devontae Adams anymore.
Right.
And
I'm not worried about Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay's they've always struggled in Florida, so there's no.
Yeah, it's easy for me to put a W next to that one, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's great. They obviously they open up 2 games on the road, and then they have 3 straight at home.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, practice, an extra practice.
Pittsburgh is probably going to be an easy one because of their personnel change and everything. Trubisky's their quarterback, and
they have Najee Harris. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, then Carolina is like a huge question mark right now, and then Baltimore could be a possible good game on Amazon. And then you got the rematch against LA. That'll be. For some reason,
I feel like Lamar Jackson always plays well on these Thursday night games. I don't know. I could just be making that up, but I feel like I've seen a lot of them.
No, you're correct, Kristen. He does always play on Thursday night games. He's just playing against really shitty teams. That's what he's doing.
That's true. It's probably right as well.
Yeah. I mean, he always plays well, except last season against the Dolphins, he stunk it up.
Yes, very true.
And then that's when people were, he's done.
Well, I mean, he's won a game where the Browns intercepted him 4 times, and he still won that game, which is crazy. Who is their receiver now? They got rid of Hollywood Brown. They have Mark Andrews, but
pretty much and Rashad Bateman is there still.
Yeah.
So you got Bateman, you got Mark Andrews, and then you have your run game.
Yeah, they get that backfield. We talked about that the other day. They get that backfield healthy. That's a little scary.
They just signed Mike Davis from Atlanta. He's over there now, so that gives them a little bit more depth. So you still have J.K. Dobbins who's coming back, and then you have, I think they kept Devonta Freeman, so he's still there, and then you sign Mark Davis. So like their running back by committee is like all over the place if J.K. is not like 100%. So
that team lives and dies by the backfield too.
Yeah, exactly, because they've got no receivers at all. They've never had a clear number 1 when it comes to receivers. It's been Mark Andrews. That's it.
And that's why I don't think it's fair to say against that Lamar Jackson is not a good quarterback because you've never seen him with with good receivers to go, oh, okay.
All right, so let's do some predictions. Should we go down the line, or you guys want to highlight like the prime games that they've?
Oh, we can go down the line.
All right, so September 11th, kicking it off at Dallas for Sunday Night Football, win or lose. It's a lightning round. It's a lightning round, no pun intended.
Okay, win.
It's like PTI here.
Yeah, at New Orleans.
I'm gonna say
lose.
There. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go loss.
It's okay.
Get that loss to New Orleans out of the way early.
Somebody keep the tally. So we're at 1-1 right now. Okay, 1-1. Okay. So then back at home against Green Bay.
Win.
Okay, so now we're 2-1. Now we staying at home against Kansas City on Sunday Night Football, rematch from the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Win.
I'm gonna go win on a Sunday night.
I don't think Kansas City is going to be as good as they once were.
I agree with that too. I don't think they're going to be great. They'll be good, but
they've slowly kind of been going that direction.
And without Cheetah, their offense is going to be way different. Okay, so I think we can all 3 of us can say the game against Atlanta is going to be a definite win. What?
I'm kidding.
No, I was going to say what? And then we're going away against Pittsburgh. So the next 2, Pittsburgh and Carolina, we got wins on there. We got a win and a loss. What do we got?
I'm gonna say
wins on those. I just don't see. And it's probably his farewell tour, so he's gonna go and give a victory in all these stadiums.
Okay, and then back at home against Baltimore.
Baltimore's defense finally has improved, but I still think that's going to be a win.
Well, I think between these 2 Rams-Ravens, I'm going to go 1-1. I'm not sure, but I don't think they get them both.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Kristen. I think they win against Baltimore and then they lose against the Rams. And then we travel to Munich, Germany against the Seahawks.
Practice.
Wow, anything can happen. Overseas, international.
It is very true.
I don't see it happening. Come on.
Has Tom Brady ever played in an international game?
He's
the first player to play in 4 different countries.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's his record?
Will be. I think he's 3-0.
All right. Well, then he'll be 4-0.
Kristen, this will be a good special game for you. They come after the bye week on Thanksgiving week. They play at Cleveland, your Browns.
I know. I was talking about maybe Ohio State. I think Michigan's at Ohio State this year, I believe. And that's that same weekend. I'm like, ooh, that would be fun to go up to Ohio. But the Browns schedule, they have, I think, one Monday night game. They have 2 primetime games, which tells me Deshaun Watson will not be their starting quarterback this year because the NFL has not scheduled them for any, big games there. So I'm thinking we're going to have the Baker Mayfield show again based on the schedule. And Tom Brady off a bye week is not fun to play. He was at 13-4, 13-5 off a bye.
So that'll be week 12. So depending on if Deshaun gets suspended, he might get a 6-game suspension. So they might face Deshaun Watson because if that's going to be week 12.
I have to take my Brownies here in Cleveland. Upset, Tom Brady. I'm not confident about it at all. So I'm going to give the L there.
And Kristen, I guarantee you it won't be Baker. It'll probably be Jacoby Brissett. That'll be.
And I'm okay with that.
Okay. All right. And then December 5th, we come back home against New Orleans on Monday Night Football.
That's a win.
Okay.
That's a win.
On prime time. Okay. And then away at San Fran.
That's where it gets dicey.
Yeah, I think they might give him the L. Going West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Might be playing against his old protege.
Right. Well, like what I don't like about that is they go West Coast, come back home, then go West Coast again.
Yep. That's a lot of travel in those 3 weeks. That's a lot of travel.
I think they're going to lose one of those 2 out in the West Coast, and I think they'll I assume that they'll beat San Francisco.
Okay.
Especially if they're running with Trey Lance.
Yeah, but they're playing the Cardinals the 3rd last week, and that's when Cardinals generally crumble in the last few weeks of the season. They start off hot.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So we'll go a win against San Fran, a loss against Cincinnati. I say
loss.
I'll go win. I'll go win. Because I don't think Cincinnati's going to be as good as they were last year. I think they were a fluke.
I think they're going to lose one of those. Probably on the West Coast. I don't know. It could be changing of the guard. Joe Burrow comes into Tom Brady's house, maybe his last year, shows him what's up.
Yeah. We'll see. All right. And then New Year's Day against Carolina, well, that's a win. And then and the season at Atlanta against the Falcons.
At least they ended the season nicely for them.
Yeah, that's true.
And they can probably rest a lot of guys.
So we're saying they could probably go 14-4?
I thought maybe 13. I saw 12 when I counted last time.
12?
I think there's going to be some sneaky losses in there, and we don't even know how the teams look.
I can see a couple of games being those kind of out of nowhere losses like they've had before. Against you remember they had the game against the Bears that they lost. Weird. It was like a weird game, and against the Giants too.
Yeah, they got shut out by the Saints 9-0. So there's always those weird games.
Man, this is probably one of the toughest schedules they've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
This is brutal, man.
Yeah. You have both Super Bowl teams. Yeah. I was talking about the other day. You have 5 division winners. The only ones they're not playing are the Bills and the Titans.
Right. But what's great about this is they've got 5 primetime games, which I don't think the Bucs have ever had that many primetime games, and then they've got the Amazon game on Thursday night, and then they've got the Munich Germany game. But they've got 3 Sunday night football games and then the Monday night game against New Orleans. That's great for the Bucs. Obviously when Tom Brady leaves, that's never going to happen again. But enjoy it while it lasts, Bucs fans.
Well, and I like that the Rams opening game there. Who are the Rams playing now? I just totally forgot. But someone's going to start off with a loss there, so that's going to be pretty excited about this season.
Who has the number 1 schedule for the strength?
The Rams are up there with a pretty tough schedule as well. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find this here because I had this up earlier and I wanted to talk about it. I was like, yeah. Let's see here. Strength of schedule is.
Danny, we talked about this yesterday where even if some weird odd reason that the Bucs go 500, they could still win the division because of the division.
Oh, how bad the division is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the Rams playing the Bills first game is going to be great because someone's going to start off with a loss there. So I love that.
That's going to be a great game.
And then they have 2 Monday night games week 2 at the same time. There's a 7:30 kickoff and an 8 or 7.
Yeah, that's super weird.
But it's like the Dolphins, and so it's not really games anyone cares. And then they put the Seahawks playing the Broncos right there at the beginning too. And I'm like, poor Drew Lock, you know what I mean? He's like, great, now I got to play my old team against Russell Wilson. Just screwing this guy and then sending him to Munich. I just feel so bad for him.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the national stage at least twice for sure and go 0-2. not a good look.
I can see them maybe going 13-4 again, like they did this year.
Yeah, and Tom Brady's got something to prove. You know, it's a revenge tour.
Yep. So the New York Giants actually have the easiest schedule.
Wow.
The Rams have the hardest.
Okay, so Rams are number 1 and the Giants are the last. Okay.
Cowboys have the third easiest schedule. Come on, guys.
Oh.
So the Rams, like these teams that we all play, the Rams, Cardinals, Bengals, Bucks, 49ers, Chiefs are the top 6, I guess. And those are all on our schedule, too. So they all have pretty tough schedules.
Well, I think the NFL figured, well, if this could be Tom Brady's last stand or last go around, maybe we want to just throw all the kitchen sink at him, see how well he does.
Make sure he retires for good this time.
It's so hard for him that he's just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm done. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm going to make so much more money being a broadcaster in the booth than I did in my pro career. I'm gone. See ya.
Evan, I'm about to make you so mad. Can I tell you the bottom 4 strength of schedule?
Please do.
Dallas, Washington, Philly, New York.
Oh, so NFC East teams. Wow.
The NFC lead.
But you know what? But you know what, Kristen? They're so bad. Like they none of those teams will be any good. I mean, they can have the easiest schedules in the world, but they'll still be so bad.
How did that work out? Where they just got to keep the whole just because they're so bad and they play each other twice? I don't know.
You know why? Because of the market that they're in. Because New York is a big market, Dallas is a big market. I mean, you have the Philly fans, which is a big, and well, you can kind of count out Washington, but those are big, TV markets.
The poor Falcons have the 9th overall hardest schedule. They're just one win. Poor Atlanta. Poor Chippy.
He's already kind of accepted how the Falcons are going to do this year. So, he's like, look.
So, Danny, I'll tell you a funny story. A few years ago, I was going to get Christmas gifts for the guys, on the show. I was going to get us all like having a Bucks ornament and Chip Falcons something and Taylor a Cowboys. So I go to that sports store in the mall that has everything. I'm like, do you have any Falcon stuff? They stopped shipping it to us after the Super Bowl loss. The Falcons fans don't really buy gear.
Wow. the Falcons fans are still hungover.
Wow. So I got Chip a Braves keychain instead.
And they're a winner now. The Braves are a winner. So that was a good choice. So.
That's great. That's hilarious. So, I mean, at least I could find Lions stuff anywhere if I wanted to.
And maybe a Goodwill.
No,
Goodwill. I gotta ask, as a Lions fan, how did you feel about Matthew Stafford winning a Super Bowl? Are you upset or are you happy for him?
I was ecstatic for him.
Okay. Because
the Lions franchise failed him.
Mm-hmm. They failed a lot of people.
Correct.
Including yourself.
I was not one of those people that was like, God damn it, Matthew Stafford better not win a chance. I was like, please, if you're gonna go to LA. And it was a win for both sides. You got 2 first-round picks. You got a good bridge quarterback in Jared Goff who needed to come into a situation like he was in Detroit to kind of like test his morale, see where he's at. Is my career done? Can I bounce back? And then Stafford got a ring, and then put out that incredible AT&T commercial. Like, come on.
I want to say in my pregame show, who'd you beat? The Vikings, I believe, was your first win this year. I called that on the pregame show. I was like, they got to get a win. Today's the day. They're going to beat Kirk Cousins, and you did. So,
there you go.
I can see the Lions. I think the Lions could maybe win 7 games this year.
They have the 4th easiest schedule.
I mean, it could happen.
Wait,
that's not possible.
Is great. I mean, what was that receiver you have that came out of nowhere? St. John or something? Like we didn't.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah. Like
that's Equiminius St. Brown's little brother from the Packers.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
You wouldn't know that because Equiminius St. Brown's not very good.
He was a fantasy stud the past the last few weeks of fantasy, man. If you picked him up on the waivers, he was a stud, dude.
That's true. I'll give you that. What do you think is the toughest stretch in this Buccaneer schedule? Do you think it's the Open? Do you think it's the first 4 weeks? Is that the toughest stretch?
I think it
Dallas,
might be
New Orleans, Green Bay
to San Fran, then home against Cincinnati, then back out to Arizona. I mean, those are all going to be pretty good teams. I think that might be tough. And at the end of the season, you're banged up. You just got back from Germany.
I want to say, the schedule as a whole is just And Danny, you put this well correctly in the rundown. Like it's a gauntlet, man. It's a gauntlet all the way through. Like just especially with like the travel that they have to do. Like they have to go over to Europe, and then that last half of the season where you're going to like West Coast, middle of the country. It's like back. It's bam, bam, bam. So all the traveling that they have to do. But to me, I mean, I think the first 4 games are going to be like the tough. That's really going to set the tone for the season ahead. Is like that first 4 games because I mean you're starting off at Dallas, you come back home, you play Green Bay, then you're playing Kansas City. So that to me is like that's the hardest part. Is to get over that hump of those first 4. Because if you
get over that though, then they go. They gave him like beat him up and then like. Smooth sailing. Like they gave him the easy games all back to back too.
If you come out like the first 4 3-1, like that's a win-win right there. But like it's just I think that first 4 is really going to set the tone for the season going forward because it's just that's a tough 4 games, man. I mean, and then it's just like I said before, it's just like overall it's a gauntlet. It's a tough schedule. Just with everything that they're throwing at them with the travel and playing the big marquee teams. It's a tough one, man.
Evan, if you can only go to one home game, which game are you going to?
Ooh.
We didn't ask you this.
That's a good question. Because like Packers and Chiefs, those are really both good games to go to. I mean, I think the one I would maybe want to go see would be them playing against the Rams at home because that's like the that NFC Championship like rematch. So I would.
That was an awesome game. That was the best game I've ever been to in my life. It was so cool.
I'd want to go see that.
Second row for Tom Brady's last game ever. I got to say that for about a month.
I mean, they could have won that. They could have won that game. I mean, let's just be real here.
I said Matt Gay was warming up right in front of me. And I'm like, I should have heckled him harder. But yeah, he was right there. It was really cool. It was a cool experience. But
I would say out of the Packers, Chiefs, and the Rams games, I want to see the Rams because it's that rematch. But like the Packers, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is coming to town, Patty Mahomes is coming to town, and that Patrick, like the Kansas City game's on 8:20. It's a primetime game. I mean, they're all good games to go to. But
yeah, Danny, you picked Bengals, right? That's the one you wanted to do. Yeah.
I wonder what ticket prices are going to be this year.
Did you see the ticket prices for the Kansas City game?
No.
Like within an hour of them announcing the game on Wednesday that they were going to play Kansas City in Week 4, $449 for 300 level.
Yeah, I'm good.
StubHub.
I'm good. I'm going to stay home.
Come on.
I'm going to go stay home and watch it on the NFL package. I'm good.
Right. That's.
I'm good.
And that's the difficult part. That's why the Buccaneers put those requirements on the season ticket holders, right? Of like, no, if you're going to do it, you need to have a Florida license.
Yep.
If you're going to do it, you need to do 2 seasons.
Which is good because now you can't sell those tickets to opposing fans. I like that. I like that move.
Yeah, because and I get it. You're talking to a Browns fan, a Lions fan. You know what I mean? And I get it, but like. It's the Buccaneers Stadium. It's Raymond James Stadium is the Buccaneers' home stadium, and that should be always their crowd. Like you go to a Dolphins game, doesn't matter if the Dolphins are good, but it's like 80% the other team every single time.
It's kind of like that in Cleveland, right?
No, actually, I went to the Bucks Rams in the Coliseum. It was Jameis versus Goff, 2019. That game, I think they came back and won. I don't think there was one Bucks or Rams jersey. I had a Browns jersey on. There's a lot of Raiders jerseys, a lot of Cowboys, but in that stadium, I felt like I was in London when you go to London games and it's all, it's crazy jerseys.
We were talking about that a few shows ago where like when they go over to Germany, it's just going to be like a bunch of random jerseys. Like you'll have NBA jerseys there. You'll have some baseball jerseys. Oh, yeah. It's just going to be like random like jerseys all over that stadium. It's going to be funny, man. That's $400 for a third level ticket. That's outrageous, dude. Plus, you got to factor in parking and then the food. Like, dude, yeah, I'm going to stay home.
I went to, I think, 3 or 4 games last year, which I was surprised I went to that many, but it's a lot. It takes your whole Sunday. I live in Sarasota. These night games, I went to a Sunday night game. Oh my God, you get home at like 1 a.m. It's tough.
I've worked security before for a Bucks game, and then I worked security for the national championship game when they were at Ray J, and it's hell, man. Like, you don't get home till late. I mean, it's fun, but like after the game's over, you are pretty much the last person to leave the stadium when it comes to that sort of thing. It sucks.
Well, an all-nighter almost.
Yeah.
But
sucks, it sucks.
Well, and of course, so obviously, like your situation was a little bit different traffic-wise because you had to wait until everybody was out. But like if you go as a fan and you got to drive all the way down to Sarasota's what, like an hour south, give or take, right?
Yeah, give or take, yeah.
And you're like, okay, so if the game doesn't end until what, 11:30, 12 o'clock, maybe even later if it goes into overtime, and then you got to battle all the traffic, and you're like, damn, like, yeah, you're like a 1, 2 o'clock in the morning arrival at your home.
And then you gotta wake up the next morning to go to work. Yeah, no.
That's when we just get the room at the Hard Rock.
Yep.
See, that's what I like. That's what I like for our situation. I can get to Raymond James in like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, well, good for you. Oh, boy, good for you. It takes 15 minutes. Yeah, nice.
So we're staying at Danny's house on Sunday nights.
Yeah, there you go. We're crashing at Danny's.
Yeah. So we talked about this earlier, and I guess we'll wrap this up with the Bucs schedule, but most sports books have the Bucs at 11.5 wins, and we're like, 13, maybe 14.
I'll take the over on the 11.5. I'll take it.
Because we were pretty confident going, probably 12. And then you look at it and you're like, well, we already knew who they were playing when we were talking about this. Like, well, what the hell changed, right? Like,
well, I guess we're the gauntlet there where you do go West Coast almost every other week there, and you have all the tough games right up front. But
yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to take the over on the 11.5. There are some games in there that could sneak up on you. I mean, like we kind of talked to before. I mean, the Bengals could maybe be a loss. That even the Cardinals could be a loss. The Ravens, like those teams that are in those divisions where they're actually good. Now, the Falcons and the Panthers, no, that's never going to happen. But a game that could probably sneak up on them, like out of nowhere, is maybe the Bengals and Cardinals. Even the Cowboys game starting off, that could be a loss.
The Browns game.
No, not the Browns game. That's not
listen, the Browns got a good defense. They have a good defense. We're at home in Cleveland. I mean, it's Cleveland's not an easy place to play. Although we'll probably be like, the Browns will probably have a losing record at that point, and the fans will have bags in their heads, so it might be an easy game.
What's the beat reporter, Mary Kay Cabot? Yeah, and she's going to be writing flaming articles about the players in Cleveland by then. Yeah, it's typical Cleveland Browns season's coming up.
Can't wait. Hey, there's always next year.
Are you a Browns fan or a Lions fan? There's always next year.
It's that whole Great Lakes area. I can say that.
Yeah, that's fair. We still have baseball to talk about, guys. Toronto's coming to town today. Evan, are you going to the game? Did you decide, or?
I'm probably gonna stay home, but I'll watch it. I'll watch it on TV. I'm kind of tomorrow night's like Star Wars night, and they're giving like a cool like custom jersey tomorrow night. But this whole weekend's like a busy show with me because like my wife's going away for 4 days next week, so I want to spend time with her. I might go tonight. Maybe we'll go tonight. You know what? I'll talk to her about this. We might go tonight. But yeah, it's a good series coming up. I mean, you got the two good teams in the AL East coming together. I mean, Kevin Gausman going against Drew Rasmussen this weekend. Good pitching matchup overall. Blue Jays are looking to stop their 4-game skid where they played the Yankees for the past 4, and the Rays are, trying to get another win streak going on. They won the other day against the Angels, bouncing back from the no-hit. We talked a bit about this yesterday. Danny, and this is a good series to go into. I mean, these are two good teams that are going to be playing each other this weekend. It's really going to decide. It's really kind of like a preview of going into the playoff scenarios of how the AL East is going to show up at the end of the season. So, it's going to be a good. It's funny how we're playing like another Toronto team this weekend. You got the Blue Jays coming to town, and then we're playing the Maple Leafs and up in Toronto. So yeah, it's Tampa Bay versus Toronto the weekend. It's the Canadians versus the Americans this weekend.
Yeah, I think coming home off that West Coast road trip, getting a day off is good for them. Get a little rest because they got lit up those first 2 games in LA. Regroup a little bit, and And, whoever wins the series is basically going to be in second place probably at the end there. So everyone was talking about Toronto in the offseason, all the moves they made, and they're the favorite now, or maybe just Toronto fans were very, very loud about it. And so I'd like to shut them up. I like to see the Rays bats get going again, get some more.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest thing too, especially against this pitching rotation that the Blue Jays has, is like the Rays have to get the bats going. I mean, you can't just have one guy carry the team, which it's been like that for the past couple of weeks or so because they haven't been scoring a lot of runs. So Wander Franco, who's been hitting the cover off the ball, and then Manuel Margot as well, but the other guys really have to step up. Kevin Kiermaier, I'm looking at you buddy. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fun series. Well, I think this game tonight is going to be a low scoring affair because of the pitching matchup that we have. It's two pitchers that are sub 3 ERAs. I mean, both these guys are in the 2s, so it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. Good promotional weekend too for the Rays. So if you guys are in town, make sure to go to the Trop, buy your tickets, make it loud, wear your Lightning jerseys. It'll be good.
Yeah, but are they Los Angeles Angels package good? Like we were talking about yesterday.
It's not
$44 deal. I mean, come on.
It's not that good, but it's they've got good promotions. It's not $44 for 4 tickets and Cokes and hot dog good, but it's hey, you'll get a free Braves jersey, which is nice.
Yeah.
Now the Rays play during the Lightning game tomorrow. Will there be anyone in the Trop?
Maybe.
So
maybe
can I piggyback off of that question?
Of course you can.
If the Lightning aren't playing tomorrow at the same time as the Rays, will there be anybody in the Trop?
Yes, because it's a weekend game, Danny. They're always usually
a very valid question.
There's usually good crowds on the weekends, Danny.
I was listening to a story on the radio the other day about the A's had about 2,000 fans at their game. Like if you want to heckle the player, they can hear you. The A's, it's really bad. That was actually against the Rays. I think that was
if you think the attendance problem is bad at the Trop, I mean, look at the Coliseum, man. It's super bad. We should be so.
You're definitely you're not. You're not wrong there.
It looks like Major League in the beginning when there was 4
right.
fans.
Yeah, she always has to drop in a Cleveland reference.
I just watched it the other day. Great movie. Great movie.
Good Lord. So you think that tonight's going to end up being a little low? Do you think the Rays end up taking the series from the Blue Jays?
Yeah,
or are they going to split? Or
I'm not going to say the Blue Jays are.
Right, yeah. But how do you see it going? Do you see it being even or lopsided, or?
I see the Rays taking 2 out of the 3.
Okay,
2 out of 3.
Yeah, they've been pretty strong at winning the series. The Angels, I think, was only the 3rd series they've lost this season. So yeah, like I said, getting that rest, coming back home, maybe they build out that Lightning momentum and get the win back at home.
Yeah, let's get that Lightning mojo in the Trop tonight. Let's do that. That'd be fun.
The Thunder inside the. I mean, it used to be
the Thunderdome.
Right, yeah.
That's true.
I saw Phil Collins there when it was the Thunderdome.
You're just old.
I was gonna say I just aged,
old, bro.
But you know what's funny is I just aged myself. I was like, no wait, never mind. Evan's older than me.
I want to hear the drum solo from "In the Air Tonight" in the Thunderdome. That is the ultimate.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. You guys make sure you come out to Armature Works tomorrow for the Game 7 watch party. Starts at 7. Get there early because last time it was packed for a Game 4, or whatever game it was the last time. Game 5, maybe? Yeah, Game 5. Get there early because it's going to be packed. I mean, Emily, supposedly last night, if you saw pictures of Ford Thunder Alley, it was standing room only outside there.
Damn.
It was absolutely insane. So I can only imagine in a smaller area, where they have the watch parties at Armature Works, that it's going to be shoulder to shoulder. So,
and make sure to get out to the Trop tonight and this weekend for the games because ticket prices right now are actually pretty reasonable for tickets. You can get a ticket as low as $16. That's really good.
Oh, come on, yeah.
I mean, you can get tickets on the first level for $50. So come on, go out to the ball field, support the Rays going against the Blue Jays tonight. Plenty of tickets still left.
Do it, and then do it again on Sunday.
Yes, and Saturday. Don't forget about Saturday too.
The Saturday they're after works.
Yeah.
They might have the game going on in the Trop. They probably will. Maybe.
How weird would that be if you're so? Let's just say that hypothetically they have that. How weird would that be? So like you're up to bat, right? And they've got the game playing. Score, and then the people that are in the crowd are cheering when you're at.
They might have the game. I think they might have the game probably going on at Park and Rec, and then in that bar down below by the home plate area. They'll probably.
I'm sure if the Lightning score, they're going to announce it or post scores on it.
They'll post a score.
For sure.
Yeah, they'll post it. I think 100% most likely the game will be on at Park and Rec, so you'll probably have a big crowd at Park and Rec tomorrow night or tomorrow night. The Drop.
Good.
Yeah,
they need it. Let's go.
Of course they do.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for us on this Friday. All the good juju to the Rays for the weekend against the Blue Jays. Of course, the Bolts tomorrow. Bucks don't need our help yet. We'll send positive vibes as we get closer to the season. I'm pretty sure it'll like fizzle out by the time the season comes. But yeah. Kyle Trask is still third string quarterback, guys. Just remember that. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll do this all over again on Monday. We'll all be smiling on Monday.
Go Rays. Go Bolts.
Go Bolts.
Go Rays.